Okay, so that's what I'm opening up right over here. We're gonna start off.
Oh, yeah, you can.
What we're gonna start to learn now is a shtickle Gemara. Shtickle Gemara.
No pressure.
Gemara Yerushalmi. For the first tractate, Musach the Brachos.
I don't want to make sure like your pressure.
Perik Beis Halacha Dalet. It says like this. Rabban Amri, our sages have said, Ahon Malka Mashiach, in Minchayahu David Shmei. This King Mashiach, if he's from the living, if he's a living person, David Shmei, his name is David. Min the Mechayahu, David Shmei. If Mashiach is from those that already passed away, in our Mason, and he's going to come back, his name is going to be David also.
Amen.
Amar Avtan Chuma. I know Amri time of Oisa Chesed L'Mashiach. Avtan Chuma says, I say the reason why his name is David, like it says, Oisa Chesed L'Mashiach LeDavid. He does kindness to his Mashiach, which is David. Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi Amar Tzemach Shmoi. Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi says Mashiach's name is Tzemach. That's his name. Rabbi Yudan Berei, the Rabbi Abayu Amar Menachem Shmoi. Rabbi Yudan, the son of Abayu, says Menachem is the name of Mashiach. Amar Rav Chanina Berei, the Rabbi Abayu, V'loi Pligi. He says Rabbi Chanina, the son of Rabbi Abayu, says it's not an argument if his name is Tzemach or if his name is Menachem. It's not a machlekes. Why? It's the same thing. The calculation of the name Tzemach and the calculation of the name Menachem is the same thing. Tzemach is, you have 90 and you have another 40. So that's 138. 138 is Menachem and 138 is Tzemach. It's the same name. It's the same thing.
Is quoting a gematria there?
Yeah. It says Chuzman Adain, Chuzman Adain. Yerushalmi Brachos, Perik Beis Halacha Dalet.
I never saw Gemara quoting.
But it says it also in Mishnayos. The Kufis are Gematria, it's part of the Chochmah. But here he says Chuzman Adain, it's the same Gematria. It's the same person. Tzemach is Moshiach, Menachem is Moshiach, is the same thing. Huh? Yeah. Now this is the proof that Mashiach's name is Menachem and Tzemach. The Yudan Bereder of Evu, Yudan says the name of Evu is such a story like this. Uvda Hava Vahu Yodoi. Story had there was one Jew, Hava Bachad Yodoi, there was one Jew, Hava Koyim Didei. He was plowing his field. Then while he was plowing his field, Kumei, his cow screamed. Like it says over here. He was plowing his field and then his cow, Peter's tzark up at us, his cow started screaming.
Cow?
His cow started screaming. Avar Chad Arve V'Shamakola, an Arab passed by, and this Arab heard this cow.
Can't get rid of them. Can't get rid of the Arabs.
Can't get rid of the Arabs. So here, the edition was very partial who this Arab was. It was different Mefarshim. Some say it was a Yarnavi, but an Arab walked by, and he hears this cow screaming. Omar Lei, Bari Yudoi, Bari Yudoi. He says, Jew. Shari Turach v'Shari Kankanach. Undo your cow. Unleash your cow. Stop plowing your fields. Untie the plow that's plowing the field. Undo your cow, undo the yoke that's on the cow of your back, undo the plow, undo everything. Stop plowing your field. Why? Why? The Hachariv Bein Mukdesha. The Beis Hamikdash was destroyed. Right now, they're burning the Beis Hamikdash. It's being destroyed. He wasn't there in Yerushalayim to see the Churban. He was far away. But he told him, right now, the Beis Hamikdash is being destroyed, and you can't sit around over here plowing your field and having a good time. Yeah, like Rashi says, it says, "Yesh l'chol abel." You should stop mourning the destruction of the Beis Hamikdash. Or you better take off before your enemies will come and catch you, because the enemies are destroying the Beis Hamikdash. Now he says right away. That second, right away, again, Goaz Zman to Nainusa. This cow again made another sound and screamed a second time. Omalei bar yudoi, k'teir toirich, v'k'toir kankonich. The Hayelid Malcolm Moshiach. He told him, Jew, tie back your cow, tie back the yoke, tie back the plow to continue plowing the field. Why? Malcolm Moshiach was born. The King Moshiach was born. And this itself, that the King Moshiach was born, changes the reality. And now you can continue plowing the field. So,
Once you stop crying up Beis Hamikdash, you start.
So what does it mean over here? This is an interesting thing. Because on one hand he told him to undo his plow, undo everything, but this itself, that Yelid Malka B'Shicha, there is something happening over here. There's a Mashiach was born. So it changes something. It changes something in the world, and you can continue plowing the field. So this Jew asked this Arab. Okay, so it looks like you have some inside information, which he understands language, and he can tell him what this cow was saying. So he told him, okay, so Mashiach was born. What's his name? So he told him Menachem. That's his name. Ha'aravi Yazar Amar. He told this that the name of Mashiach is Menachem. Omar le Yumash made Avuye, and he asked him, okay, so what's his father's name? Omar le Chizkiah. Chizkiah is his father's name. Omar le Man Hein who. She says, where is he? Where can I find him? Okay, Mashiach was born today. His name is Menachem. Where is he found? Omar le Min Biras Malka the Beis Lechem Yehuda. He says he's in the area of Beis Lechem. Beis Lechem in Yehuda, yeah. Biras Malka, the palace of the king, that's the capital city of the king, which is by Beis Lechem Yehuda, of Yehuda, of Shevet Yehuda. Ozal Zovin. Turei v'Zovin Kankoneit. He went back and v'Zavin Zovin Levadin leMainuka Hava Ayil Karye v'Nofa Karye Ad Allah Hu Karto Havin Kom l'Shaya Zavna v'Ima de Menachem Lo Zavna. So he basically came to that place, and he came to the area where all the mothers are milking the kids, but the mother of Menachem wasn't there. Shama Kolan the Neshaya Amri Eima de Menachem Aisi Zumnin Lebrach Omar Ba'aya No Michnikunye Sad Eyad Yisrael the Yemad is Yalid Ichrav Beim Mikdashan. So she basically said he wants her son, this son, to be hung, but she said it in the name of. Says he wants the enemies of the Jewish people should be hung, meaning that this son should be hung. She's very upset with this son. Why? She said because he was born on the day that the Beis Hamikdash was destroyed. The actual day of the Churban Beis Hamikdash is when he was born. she was very upset with this kid. That's like such a day, such a sad day. This baby was born. So he told her. He says, "B'pirush p'tuchim anachnu shahu sibud lechurbana v'havei sibud liyeshuva." He says even though that day he was born on the time of the Churban Beit Hamikdash, which his birth was connected to the Churban Beit Hamikdash, but he says he's the one that's going to rebuild the Beit Hamikdash. So don't be sad with him being born on the day of the Churban Beit Hamikdash. And basically, he learns this out of the pasuk. The pasuk says, "V'hadir v'alavanin ba'adir yipel." The Lavanin, which is the Beis Hamikdash, this week's parsha, Moshe Rabbeinu tells God he wants to see the Lavanin. What's the Hara Teva Zeval V'alavanin? It says the Beis Hamikdash. So the Lavanin, the pasuk says in Yeshaya, "V'hadir." The Lavanin will fall in the hands of a mighty one. What's the next pasuk right after that? The next pasuk in Yeshaya. The Yotza Choyter Migeza Yishai. A branch will come out of the stem of Yishai. Yishai is the father of David HaMelech. And a branch will come out, which is the descendant of Yishai, the descendant of David HaMelech, which is referring to Malach HaMashiach, will get up. So where does it say that? Right after the destruction of the Beis Hamikdash. So this is a very deep concept in its own right of what's going on over here. If God brings a churban, God brings a destruction, right away, simultaneously, God brings the possibility for a rebuilding. It's not a destruction and then maybe in 2,000 years later or 500 years later or who knows what, there's a possibility for it to be rebuilt again. The second of Churban Beis Hamikdash, right away, the Eibusher already made there be in the world a person, a Melech HaMashiach, that's worthy of being Melech HaMashiach. That if the Yidden do tshuva, and if the Yidden deserve the Geula, right away, the Geula could come through Melech HaMashiach. We shouldn't need to wait around for something to be born later on, and they grow up and whatever, and bring the Geula. And like the Rebbe says in the Sikha this week, a very interesting point. The Rebbe says this, that it says the Mashiach was born on Tisha B'Av. What is it? Yeah, it says like this. Mashiach was born the second after the Churban. Like it says in the Midrashim of Chazal that when the cow screamed the first time, they said the Beis Hamikdash was destroyed. The second time, Mashiach was born. And the Rebbe says, not only that, even after that Mashiach became already an elder person, now the Rebbe rightly points out in the footnote, this is what was really referring into this Maimar Chazal that Mashiach was born by the Churban. She'ein hakavana layitzir la'aved ha'olam, she'oz v'apel ein mishin shel Yisrael. Elo hizgalus dugmas leidikim shutat mishin shel Yisrael. Shekvar royu muchem ligel es Yisrael b'pel mamish. Rei gam netzach Yisrael ba'aral perik chavav al b'kuf lamid shus Mashiach la'bal b'ner ilasheri. This is what I mentioned to you a different time. There's many different interpretations on this Medrash. Rabar Manel, and his Sefer Yeshua Mashiach has like 10 ways of explaining this Medrash. But one of the ways he explains it, that the Rebbe brings it over here, is that it means that a little baby's born. He can be Moshiach then. Let's say that's like in the Yidden will do tshuva to the highest level and whatever, and now Moshiach will come. So this is a Moshiach, a baby doesn't even have a bris. He's just born today. Only if he's born on Tisha B'Av, so I just bris test. Yud Yud and Bez and Gimel Yud and Rosh Hashanah. So Yud Zayin Menachem Av is his bris. So this little baby Mashiach, what does it mean that Mashiach was born? So the Rebbe brings from the Maharal and the Barbanel that what seems more to say what it means really, that we're talking about an older person over here. What does it mean birth? Birth means revelation. When someone is not born, a baby's in the stomach, he's concealed. He's not revealed. The second of the, so even before the Churban there was a person that was worthy of being Mashiach. What does it mean that by the Churban Mashiach was born? That person, whoever it was born. What does it mean he was born? He got revealed to a certain level. That's one of the ways the Maharal and the Marmonel explained it. Being revealed is like the birth of Moshiach. Well, what's the main point that I want to bring out over here? The Rebbe says, on a birthday, this is another aspect, which this is Negeya to us now. Because according to what we just said, even then the first Tisha B'Av he wasn't even born. Even then he wasn't born on the day of Tisha B'Av, he was born before. He was an older person. Let's say he's 25 years old. He's 50 years old. That was born on a different day. He's born on Tisha B'Av means he was revealed on Tisha B'Av. According to this, by the way, this already answers another question. If someone asks, well, Mashiach, or this and this person wasn't born on Tisha B'Av. Mashiach was born on Tisha B'Av. To begin with, it doesn't mean that he needs to be literally born on Tisha B'Av. It means a certain level of revelation happens to this person that's worthy of being Mashiach on Tisha B'Av. But what's the point? What do we bring out of it? It said on the birthday of someone, the mazel of the person is very strong. The mazel, the neshama, the chayis of that person on the day of his birthday is very, very strong. What are they telling us over here? That on Tisha B'Av, the mazel of Mashiach is, Mashiach was born. Mashiach was born on Tisha B'Av. What does that mean? That on Tisha B'Av, and so to Erev Tisha B'Av, the mazel, the power of Mashiach Tzidkenu is very, very strong. And it's a prime time for Malach HaMashiach to be revealed, to be born again on Tisha B'Av. Build the third Beis HaMikdash. I think I read that as a story. That's how the Rebbe viewed this day very, very much. The Rebbe wrote, they found in the Rebbe's diary, the Rebbe wrote to himself different notes and commentaries, different Chiddushei Torah. So the Rebbe in Berlin wrote a page of Chiddushei Torah out of Tisha B'Av. Out of Tisha B'Av, the Rebbe wrote a Rishima. How did the Rebbe, so the Rebbe writes the date. So the Rebbe doesn't write Erev Tisha B'Av or Erev Churban Beis HaMikdash. The Rebbe writes Erev Yom Huledes Mashiach Tzidkenu. The Erev of the birthday of Mashiach Tzidkenu. That's Tisha B'Av. What's Tisha B'Av? Happy birthday, Mashiach. It's the day that Mashiach's neshama came down into this world for the first time in revealed way, in a physical person, not only by David HaMelech, which was Mashiach HaRishon, but Malach HaMashiach, that's going to take us out of Golus, came down into this world on Tisha B'Av. So every year, it says, Hayomim Ha'elim is starting an as, and these days are being remembered, and it's as if it's redone. Besides for it being a day that we remember the Churban Beis HaMikdash, which first of all, even that in its own right, the Rebbe points out, why are we fasting on Tisha B'Av? Why are we not wearing our leather shoes or whatever it is. Be'ezrat Hashem, that's only in the past. This year and before Tisha B'Av. Today, Erev Tisha B'Av, Melech HaMashiach will be revealed and build a third Beis HaMikdash and will dance and sing and celebrate our Tisha B'Av, the biggest Yom Tov, L'chaim L'bracha. Why does the Torah be Machayiv us and all of these different dinim of Avelis? Come to Yerushalayim, come to the Kosel, you have to rip your shirt and this and that.
What?
You meant to do rip Kriya. Every 30 days, if you didn't see or if you don't, if you came there out of Shabbos, I'll tell you, the first time I came to the Kosel, I remember it was Chof Off. First time I remember, when I went when I was a 1-year-old, I didn't remember anything. It was a few years ago. And I saw the Kosel, and I had mixed feelings. Literally, I was like, I didn't know what. On one hand, I felt the churban. I looked at the Kosel and I'm like, where's the Beis HaMikdash? What's this? At the same time, I had a feeling that soon the third Beis HaMikdash is going to be built over here, very, very soon. But the Torah is machayiv a person to rip kriya, etc., etc. What's the point of that? The point of that is not to just make a yid be in pain. That's not the point. The point of fasting is not just to make you hungry and make you crazy or make you in pain. There's no point in that. The whole point of all of these halachos is to get us to do whatever we need to do to finish the galus and bring Moshiach and bring the Gula and bring the third Beis HaMikdash. There's a joke. Well, it's not a joke, it's a true story. Hopefully I'm not offending anyone. But there was a Lubavitcher that he didn't like the atmosphere in 770 on Tisha B'Av. Because he felt like it's, almost like Simchas Torah. No, not to that extent, Chas v'Shalom. But the Ruzhiner, Tzemach Tzedek, when called the Ruzhiner, it's the Ruzhiner, okay, whatever. The Ruzhiner was called the Heilige Ruzhiner, the Holy Ruzhiner. So Tzemach Tzedek said that he would push away, he wouldn't like Atzvus, depression, and not even Merirus. Not even Merirus, which, in general, including Tisha B'Av. And he says by the Ruzhiner, by his Chassidim, they would joke around on Tisha B'Av. They would throw at each other all of these Beralach.
That's what they used to do in Yerushalayim.
In Yerushalayim, they throw things.
Are you serious?
Beans.
As kids, sure, we used to do bobkes. We used to call it bobkes. We used to take it from the trees.
While sitting on the floor, I got
And sitting in shul and throwing it.
On
And each other.
Tisha
Under the road.
אם אתה בוכה, אני אומר אותך, הוא לא מבין מה זה, תסביר לו.
It's the throw, it's like sticky things and throw it on each other.
הוא לא מבין מה זה בובקס.
So they would throw it on each other.
Thanks.
And they used to joke around until what they did was they went into the attic, it says, and they had a hole in the roof, and they had like a platform, and anyone that walked on it, they pulled them up to the roof, to the attic. So guys like walking around in the shul, all of a sudden they find themselves. That's what it's considered with the roof by the Heilige Ruzhiner. Until the Ruzhiner himself was walking. And then they rolled him up to the roof, and then they see the Rebbe himself right away. They rolled him down. So the Ruzhiner said, he picked up his heart up to Hashem, and he said, "Listen, your children don't know how to act on your Yom Tov. Take it away from them. Take it away from them. They don't Yom Tov." 1 second.
No, it's a Choyze Melubir. So used to say when the Choyze is going to pass, they're going to make a lechaim. So he said when they're not going to have the chance to make a lechaim. That's not Tisha B'Av.
So the joke is that there was or a true story. There's a about today here in 770. It's too much.
Is it a little bit? Is it 730 a little bit more? It's not good. Is it a little bit more?
The focus is like we were saying over here. The birthday of Moshiach. Yeah, it is the Churban. We keep all the halachas. There's no one doing anything against Shulchan Aruch. But the feeling is Moshiach is coming in a second. Yes, the Beis Hamikdash was destroyed. Yes, we got to do whatever we got to do. But the main feeling is that this is the day that the Mazel of the Mashiach is very strong, and it's a prime time for Mashiach to actually come and reveal himself and bring the
There's
Gula.
an excitement in the air.
So there's an excitement in the air.
So you're
Yes.
supposed to be happy on Tisha B'Av?
You're supposed to be happy the whole time, even when you're reading Kiddush. Even though it's Hashem, it's Simcha, it's even not Tisha B'Av. Question is, how do you define Simcha? Doesn't mean dancing and listening to music and jumping, whatever, not necessarily. You feel connected to God, that's Simcha. And
You
that's
can't really do the simcha about the future if you don't know what you lost. So you need to acknowledge what was missing, what was lost. And
Yeah,
through that, you can have such simcha about what we're about
right.
to
It
get.
says, "Kol ha'mis'abel al Yerushalayim zocheh v'rei b'binyan." Anyone that or the simcha, so whoever mourns the destruction of Hashem, will merit to see the simcha. Right. If someone doesn't understand and appreciate what the Beis Hamikdash is, so this is the point I'm trying to say. Why is the Torah being mechayiv us to all these dinim of Avelis, etc., and Tisha B'Av? So when I started saying, there was someone that said he felt that it was too much and too happy in Lubavitch. So he went to some other place where they're crying and whatever until the end of Tisha B'Av was over, and then he hears one guy telling his friend, he said, "Oh wow, that was a starke Tisha B'Av. That was really, And he said, okay, whatever, we'll see you again next year," something like that. Like, so he said, okay, so this is what's going on over here. He missed the whole point, and he never went back there again. He said he'd rather be the whole point of the Avelis and the Churban, the Avelis on the Churban Beis Hamikdash is like he was saying. So we should understand that we're missing something, and then what? And do whatever we can to get the third Beis Hamikdash to be built. That's the only reason. If we're not going to have a Tisha B'Av, and not going to have a feeling of that we're missing something, so people could just think that what's life and what's everything. Here I have a house. Here my house is built. The medical system have a house. Guy doesn't feel there's a churban. He's missing. I thought about it again. Imagine you're not you or whatever, but a person. Imagine his own house was broken down. Tractors came and broke down his whole house. How would he feel? What would he do? But the moral law, he's missing. He feels that he's missing something. Well, God is the same way. God doesn't have a house. God's house is the Beis Hamikdash, and that got destroyed. And we need to know that it's destroyed, and we need to know that we need to get it to be rebuilt. And that is the whole point. The focus is on getting the Beis Hamikdash rebuilt, getting it rebuilt. How could we get that feeling? Only if we know that we had a Beis Hamikdash once upon a time, and people won't think about it. But again, there's other people put it the other way around. So I saw Art Scroll, for example. I saw they have like a 3-week to the 3 weeks for BeAv Eitzarim. So we're there. They have the book to Peace of the Yeshua, the Chafetz Chaim. A book about Mashiach, the book of Gladstein. So you have 3 weeks at least. We remember there was a Beis Hamikdash. We were missing something. So for the 3 weeks, at least then they talk about. You realize that there was a Churban, so we realize there's something that we need to rebuild. That the Beis Hamikdash needs to be rebuilt.
שאמר לי שעוד פעם שלט, קודם לטישו, לטישו פה.
You couldn't do the Tisha B'Av.
מכל היישוב, במונסי, לא יודע איפה,
Yeah.
שהיה או שצחק.
You couldn't do the BeAv Mashiach.
קודם לטישו פה.
Yeah. People wants to get ready for Tisha B'Av. He says there's signs. So the point that I'm saying over here is the whole purpose of Tisha B'Av and the whole purpose of the Churban and the whole purpose of all of this is, first of all, to get us to do what we need to do, but also, even from God's perspective, it's only in order for there to be a bigger and greater Beis Hamikdash. Like we mentioned last week, the Medrash says, Allah Ariyeh, B'mazal Ariyeh, V'hechad V'sariyah, Al-Manaz, Sheyova Yariyeh, B'mazal Ariyeh, V'ivn Ariyeh. A lion got up in the month of a lion, and he destroyed the lion. In order, on condition, al manas, sheyova yariyeh, b'mazal yariyeh, b'ivna yariyeh, like a lion shall come, which is referring to God, and the month of a lion, which is this month of Menachem Av, to transform the Evil to Sasin and rebuild the lion. Which means the whole purpose of the Churban was in order to come to a bigger and greater Beis HaMikdash. You couldn't build a third Beis HaMikdash if you'd have the second Beis HaMikdash over there. So the Eibishter needed to destroy it in order for us to come to a bigger Beis HaMikdash. And when, what does the Medrash say? In this month of Chodesh Menachem Av in general, especially now when we are Erev of the birthday of Moshiach, when the Mazel of Moshiach is very soon, especially on Tisha B'Av itself. But now is the main day. It's a Yom Mesugel. It's a Smish's day for the salvation and the redemption.
So the attitude on Tisha B'Av is not you're not feeling like you're crying and you're
What are you crying about? What do you want? What's the point?
well,
why is it talking?
in the literature world? They're usually Kinas. They're talking about the Korban in Europe and this Korban and that
That is what
Korban.
you say. In the literature book, the all year is crying. Tisha B'Av is the big holiday of the crying. He's crying all year. If there's Hashem B'Simcha, ask him, you know what is B'Simcha? What is B'Simcha? I take vacation. What meaning if there's Hashem B'Simcha? Ask a simple guy, what is if there's Hashem B'Simcha? He's crying the whole year. Tisha B'Av is the end of the holiday.
No, to be able to get to the Simcha, they cry.
Yeah. Wait, no, what?
So it's not.
No, I want to ask you in general.
Yeah.
What is more easy? To be B'Simcha or to be B'Atzmut? What is more easy?
The Atzma.
B'Atzmut.
Much easier.
Yeah, much easy. To
Yeah,
be
do
B'Simcha
nothing.
is a big job.
Avoiding Torah, the Rambam says.
Yeah, it's a big job. It's the people, all here is crying. I don't know if he's crying or B'Atzmut, I don't know.
So Tisha B'Av is not an Indian. It's not. There's no Indian like that. Like I'm thinking about what happened, the destruction of the two bits of Mikdash, all the terrible.
Okay, and now what? What's the point of that? Why does the Torah want you to do that? Why? What's the point?
It's
Just for you to cry and then what?
I know this.
Cry and then and what are you gonna do?
I'm not going to want you. I'm not
changes
going
throughout the day, right? But yeah,
Why does it change? Why does it change by midday? What's the reason? You look at Shulchan Aruch.
because we're looking towards the Yeshua.
Because Moshiach was born on Tisha B'Av that time. When they started to go and burn the Heichal, Moshiach was born. That's why we say Psukei Nechama. That's what it says in Shulchan Aruch.
Right.
Shulchan Aruch. Noilad Moshiach Hanikra Menachem.
Okay, but you have to start off in that place in the morning.
Yeah, so you have to. No, but what is the point of that? What's the point?
Okay.
Why does the Torah? Let's say
Yeah.
yeah.
So the point is to get to a joy and later in the day, but you still got to start the day at the beginning of the sadness.
The
No,
question is, but you need to know what's the purpose. Just cry, but why? What's standing behind it?
I'm crying over the tragedy of the loss of Jewish life and throughout the generations.
Okay, so that in its own right.
I'm wondering.
So just to take that and not to zoom out a little bit more and say why, how did this take place? So not necessarily we do understand the Holocaust, like the Rebbe says we don't understand the Holocaust and all that stuff. But the Torah tells us the Galus happened because of different reasons.
Right.
Because of Sinas Chinam.
Right.
Because of the first Beis Hamikdash, the Gimel Chavaris, Avodah Zarah, Shuchasam Gelarais, Mittul Torah, different things. The point is not to just cry. You know what it's like? It's like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of a good example. But the first thing that comes to mind, you have like someone, okay, that had a bottle of milk, and he spills the whole bottle of milk on the floor, and then he's crying. And the guy has money in his pocket, he could go buy more milk, and he's just crying and crying and crying. He's crying. What's the point? You just spilled that milk on the floor. Go to the store and buy a new bottle of milk. What's the point of sitting and crying on spilled milk when you spilled it and you know why it spilled? Or maybe another example, if a guy has a broken staircase, let's say, and he falls and he trips and he smashes his head every day. So then he sits down and cries that this staircase is broken. Go hire someone to fix the staircase. And there won't be a broken staircase anymore. Fighting a guy. The point is not to just to cry on the loss and this and this and this. The point is, okay, so how did this loss take place? What made the loss? Who brought about this whole loss? We did it ourselves. Because of our sins, we were expelled from our land.
Was it ultimately Shlomo Melech's fault?
That what?
About the Zara, that it was all destroyed? Was it all saying Shlomo, at the end of the day, Shlomo was
responsible?
saying his whole kingdom fell apart because of Avodah Zarah. His sons with the kingdom, it got messy right after him. Everything went to...
What we're talking about is maybe now.
What?
What we need to do.
But should the focus be on the mistakes of the kings then? Because that's really what brought it, no?
The focus should be on whatever brought it, and what could we do to change, to fix our ways and bring the building.
Where in the story do we hone in and say, that's where we messed up real bad?
Well, the Gemara says, "Avodah Zarah Gilad Eretz Shvichas Damim and Tzilas Chiram."
Yeah.
So we need to learn for ourselves.
But it wasn't on the king. It wasn't on Shlomo. It wasn't on him as a. When we lost the base of Midrash because some peasants were doing Avodah Zarah.
Well, that was in the beginning. The Shlomo Melech was in the beginning of the first base of English. The base of English just stood up from 400, and even after it stood for a few hundred more
It
years.
was a mess. It was a split kingdom. There was no, and then it just got crazy. It kept getting crazy. Nothing was solidified after Shlomo, really. It's where everything started to split. No? Anymore.
So you're saying what? To blame it on the kings?
know.
So why are we mourning?
Where do we focus?
So why are we fasting? Just the king should fast. Just the king should mourn what we should cry for. We should mourn what someone else's mistakes.
It's confusing.
So that's maybe you can say we're mourning the second base. But it's both. It's both. There is a certain aspect that's up to us. You gotta blame us. But the point is not even the blame and not even the guilt and all that stuff. Focus is what are we doing? It's just the point is to remind us what we're missing, in order for us to prepare and build and do whatever we need to do to get the third base Hamikdash up. To bring Moshiach should come and build the third base Hamikdash. That's the point of the whole Tisha B'av. That's the point. That's the point of anything in Torah. The point, I heard a second, I'm saying, guy is coming to the Kaisel, and he sees. The point is not that he should be in pain. The Torah is not coming here to pain a Jew. The Torah is not inside. The point is to wake you up, to wake us up, to do whatever we need to do to get the third base of English. That's the point. The point is, like after the Holocaust, so someone said he wants to institute that in every Seder there should be an empty chair to remember the Holocaust. Right? So the Rebbe said, having an empty chair by every Seder is exactly what Hitler Yamach Shammai wanted. By having another full Seder, to go find someone in the street and bring him to sit out on the Seder, that's going to be the best way to uproot, just to have a Holocaust museum, just to sit and cry, that's not the point. The best way to take revenge is to have another 6 million Jews to be born. And the plus. That's the answer. Not to have an empty chair, to have a full chair. Just an empty chair, what are you getting by that? What are you getting? Remembering what? The point is to I think, what's his name? Eli Wiesel came to the Rebbe. He's a Holocaust survivor, didn't want to get married, he didn't want to do anything with his life. He was a visualist, a chassid, he was depressed.
Yeah.
He told the Rebbe, he wants the Rebbe should teach him how to cry. That's what he said. People didn't know how to, he didn't know how to open up. So the Rebbe said, I'm going to teach you how to sing. And basically, the Rebbe built him up. He said it clearly. He got married, he had kids, he moved, he didn't get stuck with the past and the lack, but he was how he should focus on the future and on the building. So that's the focus over here. I'm seeing it. The Rebbe says of Erev Tisha B'Av. The Rebbe says, what's Erev Tisha B'Av? Erev Tisha B'Av. Today, it's tonight. The Rebbe said the Sikha is the most. It says now Zman Mesugel B'Yoyser Lidin Agula. Now it's a very prime time for the Gula to come. Why? So the Rebbe brings a medrash that at Tisha B'Av is the birthday of Moshiach Tzidkenu, and at the birthday, the Mazel is Turok. And the Rebbe says the preparation for a birthday starts from a day before. And how much more of Moshiach Tzidkenu, which is called a Baranafli, it's a special person. So
it's the day that the Mashiach is going to be revealed, the Tisha B'Av? That's the day of the
every year there's a certain level of revelation of Mashiach, there's a certain level. Every single year, there's a revelation of Mashiach. And like we said, especially according to the Maharal and the Barbanel, that to begin with, it doesn't mean the physical birth. It means a certain revelation of the soul of Mashiach down here in the person that's worthy of being Mashiach's body and making him more ready to be, giving him more power to be ready to take it out of Galus. So that happens every single year at Tisha B'Av. This year as well. Every year. So hopefully, even before Tisha B'Av, like it says over here, Erev Tisha B'Av, which Erev Tisha B'Av is the 8th day, and number 8 is connected to Sviras Habina. If you count the Sviras from bottom up, Malchus, Yisoid, Netzach, Hoid, Netzach, wherever you go all the way up, the 8th Sviras Habina, with which Sviras Habina is connected to a mem stuma, a closed mem. It says Ben Arboim Lebina. When someone's 40 years old, he gets there's 40, there's 50k to a number of 40 is connected to Bina, which is connected to a mem stuma, a sealed mem.
Oh, it's perfectly obvious that you get.
Ben Arboim Lebina. So it's a sealed mem, which this is connected to the Gula. The Gula is connected to a sealed mem. There's certain psukim. There's a passage that says Lamar Ba'amisra or L'Sholem Ed Kates. One of the prophecies about the Gula, and the mem, Lamar Ba'amisra, it's a first mem, in the middle of the word, and it's a shlosh, it's a sealed mem. And B'shlosh is only in the end of the word. Why is it a sealed mem at the beginning of the word? Because the sealed mem is connected to the Gula. That's why it's a pasuk talking about the Gula. I think one of the only places in Tanakh has a shlosh mem at the beginning of the word, because the world, the way that it was created on its own, it's like a achsadra. It's only three walls, and there's an opening from the tzafet side, and it says mitzafet pasach, all the negativity comes from that side. Like a ches, whenever there's room for negativity to come in. A shlosh mem means you're sealing it off, and there's no room for any negativity. That's sealed mem, which that's connected to the 8th day of the month, which this is today out of Tisha B'Av. And this,
The mikvah also sealed.
Right.
Right.
right. And it means tahara, correct. Right. Now the Rebbe also says that today's chitas of Erev Tisha B'Av is Aseres HaDibros, the 10 Commandments, which the 10 Commandments starts off with what? I took you out of Egypt. Yitzias Mitzrayim, from Mitzrayim, then is connected to every Yitzias Mitzrayim. That was the opening from all redemptions. So today is a day connected to redemption, the going out of Egypt. And like we said, Yitzias Mitzrayim was it opened up the possibility for a concept of redemption. Till then, till Yetzias Mitzrayim, you couldn't take someone out of exile. That started off this idea of being redeemed. So this redemption comes from, is an outcome from Yetzias Mitzrayim. Like we said, that God Shal Pesach, Asher Golon v'Golas Aviseinu b'Mitzrayim Kedi Agiyenu v'Negel Lachasher Chodesh HaGolus. Same as they say that just as you redeemed them from Mitzrayim, so too you will redeem us. So the possibility for us to be redeemed comes from Yetzias Mitzrayim. And yeah, it gave the possibility for us to be redeemed, the true and ultimate redemption, a redemption. Why is this redemption a true redemption? Because there will not be an exile after it. It will be a redemption forever, speedily in our days, right away. And we could add, Rebbe says, according to what it's known, that through Yetzias Mitzrayim, the Yidden became B'nai Choydin. The Getrovet as a whole explanation that, and the Maharal of Prague, he says, from Yetzias Mitzrayim, we became redeemed in essence. We're called B'nai Choydin. Even if we go into Golus after that, and even if this are in essence free people. And it's not possible from Yetzias Mitzrayim and on that we should be in any true slavery. We have no connection to Golus after Yetzias Mitzrayim, because we are really B'nai Choydin. We're good. It finishes off, it says, everything that your friend has. Now, who's your friend? This reminds us, what does L'Reacha remind you of? The mitzvah of Hafta L'Reacha Komecha, to love your fellow Jew as yourself, to love every Jew, to be united with every Jew, which through the love and unity of Yidden we will take away the cause of godless and bring the Gula. The cause, the effect gets taken away, and then this fast day will be transformed, the Yom Tif, the Sosin or the Simcha L'Moedim Tovim, through, the Pasuk says, Tzayma Chamishi, Geimed, or the Simcha L'Moedim Tovim, V'hametz V'Shalom B'Havu. Fast